Back with a drip that hits and a trim that fits so eloquently well. With the hell of a flavor, the eloquent razor, style and curated by me, yours truly, Mr. Royale Black. Got a big game in Foxborough coming up. Us visiting up to Foxborough, week 9 matchup. I'm just gonna keep this brief and concise as possible just because. But anyway, we go up to Foxborough to face the New England Patriots. No star power, no Tom Brady. Mac Jones on the center. No receivers. Can't sleep on the receivers. Solid run game. We're going to get into all that. But first and foremost, you already know we don't have our two hitters on the edge anymore with Chase Young and Montez Sweat. That caused up a controversy. So this week, we're not going to have them. And moving forward into the future, they won't be here. Montez Sweat just signed a 4-year, $98 million contract, $72 million guaranteed with the Bears. So we have to work with what we have now. We have James Smith-Williams last season in a rotational role. He looked real good, like standing in for Chase Young. I remember like the first 5 weeks of the season, he had like 5.5 sacks, and then like towards the end, like he kind of slowed down a little bit. But he was rotating with F.A. Obata, who had 3.5. And on the other end, we're going to have Casey Toohill, who has 4 sacks this season, and look to build upon that. He has a high motor. I like him in the run game and all this and that. Not saying that these guys are Chase Young or Montez Sweat in the run game. Not saying that, but in their role, and far as the snaps they give them, when they give an opportunity to play, they've made of it. Now, we're still in the process of evaluation. This is the process of evaluation. So this is going to tell us who's still going to be here next year to evaluate for a next head coach and into the ownership's liking. So, but that's a whole nother thing. But we face the Patriots, not much of a threat on paper, but you have the coaching mastermind in Bill Belichick, and far as his defensive expertise, facing Sam Howell. Sam Howell came on his career game last week, 4 touchdowns, 397 yards. He again almost came close to eclipsing 400 yards as he did in the Bears game. Both were losses. The thing about this, I'm just tired of Sam Howell having a game. The defense don't show up. And then you want to go talk about how good Sam Howell's performance is, and everybody's blaming it on Howell. And it's just, this team is just weird as a seesaw. One week the offense is looking great, the defense is just terrible. Next week the defense is looking elite again. Offense can't get it going. So it's like, hopefully this will be the week we get over that hump. We're 3-5, and we can build up some momentum and probably win the next few games, because after this I believe we're going to Seattle on the road again. So it's going to be a tough stretch. It's not going to be as easy, but on paper I think we can win some of these games. Now, about us being a playoff team, who knows? We're going to see over the next few weeks if the whole defensive scheme changes. If Del Rio, please dial up a blitz. I think one positive we can take out of this is, I guess, as far as the rest of the season go, not the future, as far as Del Rio cannot be too dependent on the 4-man rush. Del Rio was just so dependent on that. He wasn't creative with no type of exotic blitzes, no zones, no coverages. And this is why we were getting cooked every week, especially in the pass game. You're not getting enough pressure when Tez and Chase Young, who are not like the best as far as like their moves. They're good pass rushers, but they're not far as like their technique with their moves, spin moves, hooks and all that. They're not that good at that. So once they're tangled up and caught in the web, you have to depend on in the middle. And defensive tackles, as far as the interior, they're not too big on getting sacks like that unless you're Aaron Donald. Unless you were a guy who can move on the line like Myles Garrett do, but that's another story. But this would be a week where we could see Jabril Cox come up, Khalil Hudson, Jamin, just to see just how it is. Like, I think Del Rio should just mix it up with these linebackers, see what they can do, especially since you got a linebacker like Khalil Hudson, who's like a hybrid between a linebacker and a safety. And you got a Jabril Cox who's good. So it's like, you have to mix it up. We have to see what we can do. Maybe these last 9 games, who knows? I don't really want to sneak into the playoffs. Some people just like, hey, let it be. But as far as reports on what I'm seeing, the ownership is starting to really believe in Sam Howell and building around him and making them better. They might see like, hey, we already got a good piece here. He's a 5th rounder. He's exceeded expectations of a 5th rounder. He's still on a rookie scale contract. So we just have to worry about this in 2 years. We have 2 years to really figure it out. We still have a window far as competing. So I don't think this is a full blow up and rebuild how everybody else thinks. But I think this is a very winnable game. It's also very losable knowing the team we are and like how we stink it up against teams we're not supposed to stink it up against and play hard against teams we're not even supposed to be in the game with. That's just the reality of how this team has been over the last several years, and we really want to change that as far as the identity goes. But I believe we can pull this off. Probably a close game. I hope not. I hope we actually do have like a 36-14 win. That's just wishful thinking. But on the offensive side, far as the Patriots go, Mac Jones, thank God he ain't mobile. But I also don't want to see him drop back and throw 300 yards on us because our coverage has been suspect all year. You know, they have Juju. They have Kendrick Bourne. I can't even think of the rest of the guys they have, but I just know somebody that we don't even expect, probably 5th or 6th on their depth chart, can probably light us up on a play or two, give up like a big play. But they're relying on like the tight ends in the run game with the Hunter Henrys and the Mike Gesicki. So I'm just looking for like I just think that we're just going to make this game a lot tougher than it should be. I really just hope like we simplify the game for Sam, kind of use the same formula we used against a much tougher opponent on defense and the Eagles as far as their talent and as far as their front four and how they got. I hope we use that same approach when we come out. We keep it short and sweet. We keep it on the ground. We keep it short and sweet. Then we beat you over top. It just needs to be simple like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why we make this a lot more difficult than it should be. But I believe we can pull this off. I think it's going to be some weird score. Final score will probably be like 23-15. And I think like at the end of the game, something's going to happen in this game. We might even be trailing at some point, that we come back, and I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be like a 23-15 score or something. I think we could pull this off. We get the 4-5, head up to week 10, believe Seattle. Hopefully we can pull that off too. We build up some momentum. I just really want to see how the defense is going to come out, especially with the ends, Casey Toohill. There's been a lot of hype, and there's even been a hive created around Casey Toohill. James Smith-Williams is good too. One player I was kind of interested in really seeing, but he's out for the season due to suspension, is Shaka Toney. This would have been a good opportunity to see what he can do as far as the edge and on the outside, but that's just wishful thinking again. But our defensive line, if you notice, we put a lot of stock in it as far as the ends and the far as the nose tackle position. For Darren Mathis, I haven't seen him all year. But Abdullah Anderson and John Ridgeway, they've done a good job there. So I believe that, you know, we can still get this done. It's just like, yeah, we lost 2 big names on our defense. Tez, I love Tez. That was my favorite on the defensive line. Athletic, strong, tall, fast. He just got to wrap up the quarterback. And if he can get that in Chicago, he will become an all-pro and a Pro Bowl. And I know y'all going to say, oh, he could have did that for us. I mean, time has run its course. New ownership group in. We all know the team wanted to keep him. The ownership seen it a different way. Got to look more into it, see who's coming out the draft as far as the edge rushers. Who knows? We may stumble upon an actual generational edge this time. It'd be real like that in sports. But again, final score will be 23-15. Don't want to wrap you up. Make sure before y'all leave this video, y'all like, comment, share, and subscribe. Trying to get deep dive into that YouTube algorithm. Build up my base, man. Trying to get heard out here in these YouTube streets. You hear me? So, and also follow me on any of my social media platforms. Burgundy _GT. That's Burgundy with an A. A lot of people say, well, why you put an A at? I mean, do y'all listen to the intro? It's styled and curated. That's my style. That's what it sounds like. Burgundy sounds like has an A sound in it. Relative to you, I'm well aware of that. But anyway, anywho, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Till next time, hail to the Washington Commanders. Peace.